Hello and welcome to That Shakespeare Life. I'm Cassidy Cash, and this week we're going to be exploring, did Shakespeare's house almost get burned down? In 1594 and 1595, when William Shakespeare was 31 years old, a set of fires tore through his hometown of Stratford Upon Avon in England, causing such destruction that this natural disaster is one of the very few major weather events that we have decent records for, because people were so shocked they wrote everything down. The fires were known as the Great Fires, and in the aftermath, the devastation to the town was enormous, and the town gathered together and helped, neighbors helping neighbors to rebuild the timbers of their homes and their businesses to really put everything back together. It was a huge ordeal, and the fires themselves came very close to Shakespeare's birthplace on Henley Street in Stratford upon Avon. Documentary evidence even suggests that Shakespeare may have been in town when this happened and could have witnessed the event. Here today to tell us more about these fires and the research being done to determine more about them is our guest and former head of archives at the Shakespeare Birthplace Trust, Bob Bearman. Here's what he had to say.
Well, the main documentary evidence we have for the extent of these fires is from the corporation's property portfolio. They own quite a lot of buildings in the town. And so if you can look at the leases and the rentals and the surveys, you can get some idea of where the fire broke out. So in 1594 and 1595, we know that there was a certain amount of damage, or quite a high degree of damage, in High Street and Chapel Street, Wood Street and Henley Street. And quite often the rebuilding of these properties was made a condition of a new lease. So they would say they can have it at a reduced rental if they rebuild the property. And by September 1598, in a petition for remission of taxes, the number of houses said to have been affected by those two fires, 1594 and 1595, was about 200 houses taken out at an estimated damage of £12,000. And there was a third fire actually in 1614, which affected the block between Sheep Street and Waterside. And I'll come back to that when we're talking about sort of Shakespearean involvement, which was supposed to take out 54 houses with a total damage of £8,000. This fire included a lot of barns and stables and other buildings containing what they called a great store of corn, hay, straw, wood, and timber.
To explore the history of these fires further, including what may have caused the fires and the dendrochronology, I can't say dendrochronology really fast, as well as the dendrochronology work being done by the Strat Fire Project to sort of uncover the details behind the history of these fires and what happened during the rebuilds, you can listen to our entire conversation with Bob Bearman on the podcast episode. It's episode 257 of our show. And if you'll check out the show notes for episode 257, there's even bonus history, and I've put together an illustrated map that shows where the fires impacted the town and how close that was to Shakespeare's birthplace. You can download that for free by joining that Shakespeare Life newsletter, and we have a link for where you can do that at the link below this video. So look right down below and click that link. All of these things, the listen, the download, and the bonus history, are all in that link right below this episode. That's it for this week. Thank you for watching. I'm Cassidy Cash, and I hope you learned something new about the Bard. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.